Hello friends, I am Shivaji Bhaskar, Faculty of Russian at the School of Foreign Languages, IGNOU. I welcome you all to this module of Communication Skills Part 1. Alright, so here we have certain examples with us. Now we will see that how the concept of voicing and devoicing of consonants is happening in this particular section. We have examples like on rad, the on rad. So here if you see that the first one, when I am asking a question, on rad, is he happy? So I am asking a question, the pitch of the sound is going higher, alright. But when I am answering with the on rad, so after the there is a pause and then you are saying the on rad. Yes, he is happy. Likewise, we have another example with us. Anarada, is she happy? The anarada. So the sound is flat. After the we are having a pause and the sound is flat. So you also need to make your own sentences in the same pattern. You can change certain names, certain words, and I hope that so far we have already covered around 50-60 words. So you can change these words and make your own sentences. It is important in the sense because when you will use your own words, your own style, then you will see that the creativity of your mind is working and you are making your own sentences, in the sense that you are conversing in a foreign language like Russian with efficiency and in a very easy manner. So you only need to keep in your mind certain concepts, that how to form a sentence, whether it's a simple, interrogative or affirmative, when and where to use the, and when and you need to prepare the questions where the pitch of the sound at the end, if we are asking a question, would go higher. And certainly you will always keep in your mind the pronunciation of certain words and the role of intonation, the role of udarenie or the stress sign. So these are the basic initial concepts which you have already learned about, and I would like you all to recommend that to use them precisely as we have been discussing. Alright. Okay, now we will go ahead and look at a few more combinations here. Here we are having combinations of consonants and vowels like mui, pui, bui, pui, dui, rui, and then tui, pui, dui, bui, mui, and mui. So here you can see that how I am pronouncing. There is a consonant and a vowel like u, and combining them together to prepare and pronounce certain sound which is different, absolutely different, which you have not heard before, especially to prepare you in advance, so that when you pronounce and listen to such sounds, you can easily recognize them and then use them in your own communication. Okay, all right. Now let's go ahead and look at certain other words and expressions which you would use in your own communication later. So these words and expressions are tui, ui, mui, riba, doing. So here we have tui, which means you. It's informal, you, and it is used as singular. Whereas we have we, which means also you, but it is formal and plural. जैसे कि हिंदी में हम लोग आप कहते हैं, और तू, it is being used as you, informal and singular, जैसे कि हिंदी में हम लोग तुम कहते हैं. Okay, so I hope this important expression is absolutely clear. Now we will go ahead and see the previous part once again, and then we will go ahead. Okay, let's go to the previous part. here we have mu, which means we. Ruiba, we have already learned about, this is fish, and then duin, which means smoke. So let's go ahead and look at these words. Now we are taking you to a certain new concept of changing these words, which are so far we have done in a singular manner. Now we are changing them into plurals. Okay, so we have certain words with us like guba, riba, karta, gruppa, komnata, and anarada. So now we will change them into plurals. Let's see how. So we have guba or guba. So how to identify? With the help of the sign of udareni. So the udareni was on a, so the sound would be guba, not guba. So you have to keep practicing these and find out the exact pronunciation also by yourself by changing them, so that you know where you are committing the mistake and correcting them. Alright, okay. So guba, let's pronounce them once again and see how they are being changed into plurals. Guba can be gubi. Okay, so guba, gubi, riba, ribi, karta, kartu, gruppa, gruppi, komnata, komnatu, and then we have an expression we will change into plural, anarada, ani radu. Alright, so here we have certain other examples where we will change them from singular to plural. We have these words with us like guba, gubi, riba, ribi, karta, kartu, gruppa, gruppi, komnata, komnatu, and then we have an expression we will change it into plural, anarada, ani radu. So I hope that you have paid attention that how the ending of these certain words are changing into u, right? So like guba, gubi, riba, ribi, karta, kartu, gruppa, gruppu, komnata, komnatu. So you also need to learn them and remember them by heart and then use them in your communication. Alright, now let's go ahead and see some of more examples with us. These are the words which we will be changing them into plurals. So we have words like sad, zavod, zub, banan, vapros, and an expression on gatov. Now let's see how they are being changed into plural. Sad, sady, zavod, zavody, zub, zuby, banan, banany, vapros, vaprosy, and then the expression on gatov will change into ani gatov. So here you can see that not even the words are changing into plural, but you can also change singular words which are being used in a simple sentence into plural. So in place of on, we are changing into ani, and gatov into gatovi, because plural, ani gatovi or on gatov. Alright, so I would also like to recommend you all that you may please write them down in your notebook and practice all these new concepts with your family and friends in order to have a good grip over the basics of this language. Okay, now we have certain other examples with us. Here we will have the singular as well as plural once again, like we have just did in the previous part. So we have guba, gubi, riba, ribi, karta, kartu, gruppa, gruppi, komnata, komnatu, and then expression anarada, ani radi. Okay, so now let's go ahead and see these new plural forms which we have just used in a form of a sentence. So, the sentences would be interrogative and affirmative. Let's see how we are doing them. First one, это рыбы, да, это рыбы. Это комнаты, да, это комнаты. Это карты, да, это карты. Это бананы, да, это бананы. So here you can see that how these singular form sentences are being changed into the affirmative sentences with the help of the. And the pronunciation, of course, if you remember the role of intonation, when we are pronouncing in a form of a question, that is the interrogative sentence, the pitch of the sentence at the end would go higher, such as in the case of это рыбы. So the рыбы is changing and the pitch is going higher. Same as in комнаты, карты, бананы, because we are asking a question, and when we are answering, we are using the, and then the sound is flat, like the это рыбы, the это комнаты, the это карты, and then the это banаны. Okay, all right. So now we will see a few more combinations of the vowels and consonants together. Let's see these consonants and vowels first as a combination, like la, lo, lu, and then vowel and consonants together as al, ol, ul. Okay, this is a special exercise for you all, so that you prepare yourself with certain sounds of the Russian letters when combined together as vowels and consonants, consonants and vowels. So you are being ready for such other sounds for future. All right, now let's go ahead and look at some of the words which we have with us, like slova. Slova. Please pay attention to the udarение or the stress sign falling onto a particular vowel. Like in this case, it is falling on the first O. That is why the sound and the pronunciation of this particular word is like slova. Slova. That is why the last O is being changed into as if it is A. Alright, now we have the second word, glagol. Glagol. Then slon. Slon. Then dolga. Dolga. Let's understand the meaning of these words now. Slova means word, glagol means verb, slon means elephant, and dolga means a long time. So it's a for a long time. It's like that. Okay, now let's go ahead. Let's see some of the words which we have used again. Please pay attention to the udarenie or the stress sign and the pronunciation of these words. The first one is oblaka. Oblaka. Then luna. Luna. Volga. Volga. Look. Look. Malako. Malako. Salat. Salat. Kalbasa. Kalbasa. Then masla. Masla. So here you can also learn how to pronounce them properly, and now let's learn about their meaning in English. Oblaka means cloud, Luna means moon, Volga means Volga, it's a name of a very famous river in Russia, Volga. Then Luk means onion, Malako means milk, Salat means salad, Kalbasa means salami, and masla means butter. Alright, so these are the certain examples, a vocabulary of Russian words which you can also use in your own communication. Now let's see, as we have just done the concept of voicing and devoicing. So we will be having the first example here is the word lob. Lob. However, the word is ending with be, but the sound is coming off pe at the end. So the pronunciation is lop, pa at the end, lop, which means forehead. Volasi, gorla, glaza and golas. Lop means forehead, volasi means hair, gorla means throat, glaza means eyes, and golas means voice. Okay, all right. Now let's go ahead and see that how these words are being changed from singular to plural. Now we have words like stole, glagol and lampa. So stole changes into stalli, glagol changes into glagoli, and lampa changes into lampu. Okay, so please pay attention to this particular aspect, how this is changing and the sound of u is coming very prominently. So I hope that you would also remember the concept and note them down in your notebooks in order to grasp and have a very good grip over these basic concepts. And when you are changing these words into plural, you are also learning that whether the ending of that particular word is changing into u or any other. So however, we are starting with how these singular words are changing into u, and you have quite a few number of such words, around 10 or 20, which you have already learned. You can also use them in your own expressions. First use them as singular word, then plural, then make your own sentences, simple sentences, interrogative sentences, or you can also make your own affirmative sentences with the help of the, and then the sound would be flat. Okay, so I hope these concepts which we have just discussed are very clear to you all. I would also like to recommend you all to prepare a list of such words, sentences, and make your own new sentences based on these, and communicate with your family and friends in order to have a better understanding and comprehension of this module. So here we have certain examples with us. Now we will make certain interrogative sentences, and then let's see how they are being answered in affirmative. So the sentence is eta stalli, da eta stalli, eta lampui, da eta lampui, eta class, da eta class. Here you can see that the pitch of the sound at the end of the sentence is going higher, whereas when I am answering, initially after the, it is having a pause and then it is a flat sound. So you can also keep remembering all these concepts and practice. Now let's go ahead and look at a few more such sentences. And these all sentences which we are doing here are having all these words which we have just did in the previous session. Now we are going to discuss them about in a form of an interrogative sentence, and then we will answer them in affirmative. Alright, so we have eta salad. Okay, so the sound is going higher at the end. Eta salad, da eta salad. Eta polka, da eta polka. Eta mila, da eta mila. So here you can also see the same pattern, and I would like to recommend you all to do your own practice so that you can also have the basic understanding of making your own sentences in interrogative as well as in affirmative. Alright, now let's go ahead and look at a few more such sentences. We have lampa tooth, da lampa tooth. Polka sprava, da polka sprava. Stol istul tam, da stol istul tam. Here in the last example, you can also see that while we are using the conjunction E, we are using E, but we are pronouncing the entire sentence without any break. Like stol istul tam, da stol istul tam. So as if it is one word, but it is not. We are having a conjunction E in between, but as a rule in Russian, when we are saying anything, we always do it without any break or pause. So after the having a pause, but when using conjunction, it will never be having a pause. So let's see once again how I am going to pronounce it. Stol stool tam, the stol stool tam. So please pay attention to this specific style, how to communicate, especially when you are having a conjunction like E. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and see some more examples. These are the words which we will be using in our communication later. Let's see them once again, one by one. So the first one is kukla, muila, zal, pol, class, patalok and klub. Here in this example you can see that how these words are being used, but in case of the last one it is devoicing, that is why klub, however ending with be but changing into pe. So kukla, muila, zal, pol, class, patalok, all of them are having the same ending as it is seen, but in case of klub ending with be but changing into pe. So let's now learn the meaning of these words. Kukla means doll, muila means soap, zal means hall, pol means floor, class means class, patalok means ceiling and klub means club. Alright, now let's go ahead and look at the very small text we have prepared for you so that you can understand how do we communicate in Russian. Okay, alright. So I am going to read the text first, then we will discuss about it. Вот комната, там окно, справа полка, там книги, в углу стол, там молоко, масло, рыба и фрукты, тут лампа. In this specific text, if you see that we are using certain words like komnata, akno, etc., which we have already used previously. But since we are making a sense here out of the text, it is actually a text about a place. For example, вот комната. So komnata means room, and then we are saying tam akno. So akno means window. So we are talking about these kind of things in this text. I would like all you to recommend to have a complete list of such words and note them down in your notebook and prepare your own text as well. Then we have tam knigi. Here in place of kniga, which means book, we are having a plural, knigi. Then we are having vuglu stol. So in the corner, stol. Here we are also talking about direction, like sprava on the right hand side, vuglu in the corner, tam, malako, masla, riba и frukti. Here if you see that we are having multiple words like masla, riba и frukti. So without any pause we are saying all of them, malako, masla, riba и frukti. So there we are stopping and then we are saying tut lampa. So all these words which you have already did in your previous sessions, you have already know the meaning of these words. The only thing is that in a form of a small text you are learning it for the first time. So I would like to recommend you all to prepare a list of such words and then prepare a small text and then start conversing, start communicating with your family and friends in order to understand it fully. Okay, so since we have been talking about many other things where you have found many letters as we have joined them together to make certain sounds, then in a form of a word, then a sentence, then simple sentences, negative, affirmative or interrogative and many other forms, and I am sure that we will be discussing about them in details in the upcoming modules, but so far we are covering the basics where you are being trained, you are being taught to make your own sentences with the help of quite a number of words which we have learned in the previous module and the present module. Alright, now let's go ahead and see some of the sounds which we have in Russian. So we are going to have consonant sounds like sh, r, e kratki, and vowel sounds like ya, ye, yo and you. Okay. So now, since from the beginning itself we have been pronouncing these letters, now since we are going into phonetics, we are talking them as whether they are consonants or vowels and then combining together to make certain sounds. Alright, now let's go ahead and look at these combinations of consonant and vowel and consonants together, like sha, sho, shu, she, ash, osh, oosh, ish. So here you can see that how the sound of these combination of two letters are changing, and when I am pronouncing them, how you are recognizing whether the first one is a consonant or a vowel, or whether it's a combination of 1, 2, 3, 4 letters. So here in this case, of course, it's a combination, so we are combining two letters together and the sounds are coming like that. Alright, now let's go ahead and see some of the words which are being used where you will find these letters. We have very popular names with us which are oftenly used in Russian, but you will find certain names which are used in Russian. They might resemble and having ending like feminine names, but they are not. For example, in case of Sasha, Sasha is a short form for Alexander, or Misha is a short form for Mikhail, whereas Natasha is a Russian, very famous Russian name, and Masha is also a very famous name for females. So you have to be very clear about the endings as well as when and where how to use these names. So Natasha, Masha female names, whereas Misha and Sasha are for males. Okay, let's go ahead and see some of the examples. Here we have certain words with us like nash, wash, karandash, dush, rubashka. So here you will find the letter sh being used, and now let's learn about the meaning of these words. Nash means our, wash means your, karandash means pencil, dush means shower, and rubashka means shirt. And then we are having a few more such words with us where sh is used, like ashipka, babushka, machina and dusha. Then learn the meaning of these words. Ashipka means mistake, babushka means grandmother, machina means car, and dusha means soul. Alright, so far we have done quite a few exercises where we are combining vowels and consonants vowels together. In this case, we are going to have a few more combinations of vowels and consonants and vowels like sa, sha, sha, sa, so, sho, sho, so, su, shu, shu, su, sa, sha and shans. So after having an exercise of these combination of consonant and vowels, at the end we are making words like Sasha or Shams. Okay, so you would also be making your own words, but for that you have to have exercises where you are combining separate sounds of letters and then understanding them properly. So when you are finding these sounds in a form of a word, you will never make any mistake in pronouncing them correctly. I hope this concept is absolutely clear to you now. Now let's go ahead and look at the new combination of the sound of the letter R. So we have R, sh, sh, r, ro, sho, ro, ro, ru, shu, shu, ru, ri, shi, shi, ri. So it might be very difficult in the beginning to pronounce and have mastery over these particular sounds, identifying them even without looking at the screen and noting them on your notebooks correctly. But I am very sure that if you keep on practicing these particular sounds, because some of these sounds are very important in the sense that they require quite a few exercises and repetitions in the order to have a good grip over their exact pronunciation, like the word chance or Sasha, like we just did. And now in this exercise we are having R, shu, ru, ji, shi. So these kind of exercises are very important. That is why we have included all of them in this module. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at some of the words where we are having the letter R, like жарко, важно, нужно. Жарко means hot, важно means important, and нужно means must. Okay, all right. Now let's see a few more such examples. These are the words where again R is being used. Можно, дружба, журнал, and ужин. So here there is a concept which we are going to discuss, that you must remember that after R and sh, ui is not used, whereas we put e instead. Alright. If you remember, in the previous session we discussed about certain words like god, godu, goba, kubu, etc., where ending is changing into ui. But in this case, when we are using the letter R and sh, they are being changed into e. Okay, so these are very important concepts we just discussed in this module. I hope you enjoyed and remember all the concepts which we discussed, and I would also like to recommend you all to note them down in your notebooks and discuss. Absolutely, it is very important to discuss all these concepts with your family and friends and start conversing and communicating in basics of Russian, so that you have a fair idea about this language. Thank you.